Does anybody know? Who am I?
Who is this?
Jenna Ball.
Sean.
Jenna Ball.
Jenna Ball.
Jenna Ball. Very good. And now what do I write?
What does she write?
CritterKin.
CritterKin. Who can tell me what CritterKin means?
Raise your hand if you know what CritterKin is. What's CritterKin, Julian? Nice enough.
It's a program about kindness.
It's a program about kindness.
It is a program about kindness. Let's figure out what the word itself means, okay? Because there are two words. What's a critter?
What's a critter?
What's a critter?
What? Not quite a bug, but sometimes we call bugs critters. Madison?
A bug's a critter. What else is a critter?
Madison told us an animal.
An animal, yes. So is a frog a critter?
Is a frog a critter?
Yes.
Is a deer a critter?
Yes.
Okay. Is an elephant a critter?
Yes.
Okay, you guys got it. Okay, so what does the word kin mean? K-I-N.
What's kin mean?
I'll give you a, do you want a hint?
Real loud. Kayla says family.
Family, yes. Okay, so if we mush those two together, CritterKin is animal. Kin is family. We mush those two words together, it means
Family.
perfect. Okay. So how many of you guys think that animals are part of our family?
Lots of hands up.
Me too. So how many of you have animals in your family? Yeah, good. Okay, here's the really hard question. How many of you have a rescued animal in your family? Who can tell me what a rescued animal is?
What's a rescue animal? Some animal that got adopted from a shelter.
Yes, and that's excellent. So what is a shelter?
What is a shelter?
Shelter where they keep animals or keep them safe.
It's a place to keep animals safe.
Yes. Do the animals that are in the shelter have homes?
Do those animals have homes?
No.
No.
Right. So animals who are at shelters are looking for their forever homes, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the story of a real dog. We're going to talk about him and they're going to read his story, who was looking for his forever home. Ms. Preder, could you put up the first picture of Ricky Bobby?
It's up.
Okay, you guys, if you look at that illustration, that little dog's name is what? Right. Okay, and what does he want to do? You want to go fast. Okay. What is that thing that he's in? Can anybody tell me? What is that?
A wheelchair for dogs.
That's exactly right. And you know what we call wheelchairs for dogs?
What do you think, Edgar?
A dog wheelchair.
A cart.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to call it a doggy wheelchair, but we don't. We call it a cart. So if you hear the word cart in my story, that's what I'm talking about, okay? So why do you think he might be in a cart?
Why is he in a cart? Elijah? He might have broken both back legs.
Yeah, he might have hurt his back legs, right? So they're probably what? Can he use his back legs?
Does anybody know a special word when you can't use your...
What's the word for when you can't feel or use your back legs?
Numb?
Paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
That is good, yeah, and paralyzed. They're two great words. Right. So Ricky Bobby's back legs don't work. They're paralyzed. So I'm going to read you his story, but before we start, I'm wondering if you guys like to make noise.
You like to make noise?
Yeah!
It's one of my favorite things to do. So when you hear words in groups of 3, I'd like you to repeat after me, okay? So let's practice. You ready? And I don't want to hear, yes, yes, yes. I want to hear, yes, yes, yes. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes!
Perfect. No, no, no.
No, no, no!
Help, help, help.
Help, help, help!
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Not good, not good, not good.
Not good, not good, not good.
Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Perfect. You guys are great. So when you hear those groups of 3 words, repeat, okay? All right, so is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, everybody stretch. And yawn. Oh. Gotta get rid of all the wiggles before we start, all right? Here we go. Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast. My name is Ricky Bobby, and I'm a good boy. Being a good boy means many things. When Miss Janai is happy to see me, I'm a good boy. When Dr. Becker wants to open my mouth to look at my teeth and I don't bite him, I'm a good boy. I'm also a good boy when Miss Janai puts me in my cart and I go fast. I love my cart. Next slide. Before the people dressed in white came, I was not a good boy. I lived in a wire cage with a cardboard bottom that smelled like pee. I never saw the grass or the sky, and the people who fed me never spoke. I was alone. Sometimes my teeth hurt or my back ached. When my back legs stopped working, I had to pull them behind me with my front paws. After that, the people who brought food came less and less. I was so hungry, I was ready to eat the cardboard in my cage. Then a strange thing happened. One day, more people than I'd ever seen before opened the big metal door at the end of the room. Light and smells poured in. Naturally, I barked my mistrust. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
I'd never seen or smelled or heard so many people in my life. Next slide. It's okay, you're safe now, said a soft voice. She reached into my cage, lifted me out, and carried me into the sun. I was so surprised I shook all over and buried my head against her chest. I could hear her heart beating and the vibration of her voice. After going outside in the sun, I went to live with Dr. Becker and his people. Dr. Becker is a nice man, but I don't like his gadgets. He uses them to shine lights in my eyes, look in my ears, and clean my teeth. I hate having my teeth cleaned, don't you? But Dr. Becker built my cart and brought me Ms. Janaya. Next slide. Ms. Janaya arrived the first day I was learning to use my cart. It looks a little bit like a hammock on wheels. What's a hammock, you guys? Anybody know?
It's like a bed.
It's like a bed, and it's made out of wood?
Rope.
Rope or cloth, right? Like a towel almost, but it hangs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. It looks a bit like a hammock on wheels. It has 2 poles with a soft cloth suspended between them to support my back legs. There's also a green vest for me to wear. It attaches to the poles so I can pull the cart along. I didn't like how the vest felt around my chest or the of the plastic wheels. But Miss Janaya held treats in front of my nose, so I forgot all about the strange new feelings and sounds. All I could think about was getting that treat. So before you know it, I was rolling right along. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Look at me, look at me, look at me.
You're a good boy, Miss Janaya said. Her voice was full of happy tears. The day Miss Janaya came to take me home was the day I met Mariah. She was waiting in Dr. Becker's front room looking grumpy. I rolled over in my cart and said, "What's the matter?" The polite thing would have been to sniff and touch my nose, but she pretended not to see me. Miss Janaya was talking to Dr. Becker, so I tried again. "What's your name?" I asked. "Why should I tell you?" she said. "You smell like medicine." "Well, and you smell like a purebred snob," I said. Lucky for me, Miss Janaya returned and carried us out to the car. Mariah had to use her own 4 paws to walk, and I could tell she was mad. The car took us to our new home, where Mariah and I had what Miss Janaya called an adjustment period. That means we had to learn to be nice to each other, and it wasn't easy, let me tell you. Mariah is what I call a grump. No matter how soft her bed is, no matter how nice things smell outside or how delicious her treats are, Mariah is always grumpy. Once I understood that Mariah was happy being unhappy, I stopped worrying about why she didn't like me. Everyone knows I'm a good boy, even Mariah. Next slide. The only time I've ever seen Mariah look really happy was the day she saved me from the bully. What's a bully? Anybody know?
Someone that picks on people.
Yes. And can a bully be somebody that hurts someone, their feelings?
Yes.
Can a bully be somebody who hurts someone, their body?
Yes.
Yeah, so it can be both things, right? Emotional and physical. Okay, so the only time I've ever seen Mariah look really happy was the day she saved me from the bully. We were visiting a school with Ms. Janiyah, and one of the little people took us outside to play. He threw a ball and told me to fetch. Fetch was a new word for me, so I didn't know what to do. Fetch, you stupid dog, he said. Beside me, Mariah started to growl. Not good, not good, not good.
Not good, not good, not good.
When the boy tried to kick me with his shoe, she started barking as loud as she could. Run, Ricky, run, she shouted. Run and find Miss Janiyah. Next slide. I turned and trotted back into the school as fast as I could go, hurrying down the long hallway and into the classroom where we left Miss Janiyah. Help, help, help!
Help, help, help!
There's Ricky Bobby, said a dark-haired lady. Why are you barking, honey? Help, help, help!
Help, help, help!
I looked everywhere for Miss Janiyah, but I didn't see or smell her anywhere. Stop that barking, said a man. He clapped his hands in front of my face and frowned. You're hurting my ears. No, no, no.
No, no, no!
You don't understand, I said. We need help, help, help.
Help, help, help!
Maybe he's looking for Miss Janiyah, suggested the dark-haired lady. She'll be back in a minute, honey. Don't you worry. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
My throat was beginning to hurt from all the barking. Lucky for me, Miss Janiyah walked to the door. What's going on? She asked. Why is Ricky Bobby upset? He's not upset, said the man. He's just barking to hear himself bark. Not true, not true, not true.
Not true, not true, not true.
No, Ricky never barks for no reason, said Miss Janiyah. Something must be wrong. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's the matter, Ricky? She asked. Show us what's wrong. This way, this way, this way.
This way, this way, this way.
I turned and trotted out of the classroom, looking back over my shoulder as I went. Miss Janiyah and the other teachers followed close behind. Well, I'll be darned, said the dark-haired man as we came out of the building onto the playground. There, the angry little person was still shouting and chasing Mariah. When Mariah saw Miss Janiyah, she ran over as fast as her legs would go. Not good, not good, not good.
Not good, not good, not good.
Oh, dear, said Miss Janiyah. She bent and clipped a leash to Mariah's collar. It's okay, Mariah. It's okay. You're safe now, she said. That dog attacked me, said the little person. Not true, not true, not true.
Not true, not true, not true.
He tried to kick Ricky Bobby, said Mariah. That's not true, is it, Robert? Asked Miss Janiyah. Why don't you tell us what really happened? After many minutes and many words I didn't understand, the boy hung his head and said, I'm sorry. He even sat down on the ground and apologized to us. Mariah was brave and licked his hand, but I was too nervous to touch him. It's okay, you're safe now, Ricky, Mariah said. Thanks, I said, touching her nose with mine. You were my hero today. I was your hero, wasn't I? Mariah panted happily. I really was. The end. So, how would you guys like to meet the real Ricky Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ricky Bobby is a real dog that I based this story on, and we have the video of his rescue from a puppy mill. So we'll talk about what a puppy mill is after we watch the video, okay? So whenever you're ready, Ms. Preder, hit it.
Here we go.
I'm just finally Houston County Animal Control called the United States and they investigated a large scale breeder for quite some time. Suspected puppy mother. Really walked into the building. The stench of urine and feces and illness was just unreal. It's just very sad. Then we're walking down one of the aisles. That's now we are he had himself with himself in this life and this is the good. We're wanting to pick him up and make him safe. 15 minutes. He's paralyzed in his back leg. He's covered in urine and feces right now. He was shaking when we first picked him up, and now he's kind of seemed to calm down and relax a little bit. That's a good feeling. And we're here to help. He's got plenty of chances and opportunities. He needs to be for somebody to help. My name is Megan Bliss. I'm a veterinary technician at Northwest Animal Hospital in North Carolina. I first met Arby when he decided to go out to find me. So hot dog in the county in our office. I immediately started working hard. I knew that I could build him one. And the final product. Our best little guy, and that was his brother Tucker, and we love each other so much. Even today, he never would know where that's where he came from, and I think that's the best part, because that's the like two dogs you have. The Humane Society of the United States rescues thousands of animals every year just like this. But there's still so many more out there. We can't do that without you. Humane Hero Breeders. Please make a special gift to support rescues like this and all of
You know, what'd you think of that video?
I've seen that with you, Jenna, like 5 or 6 times, and I still cry every time I see it.
Every time I see it, I cry. You guys feel like you want to cry?
No.
Somebody who feels like they want to cry, why?
Why do you want to cry, Sandra? It's just so sad. What makes it sad, Sandra? That he can't walk? What else makes that situation sad, Kaya?
Well, it's not sad because there's more there.
There's more animals out there like that.
Yeah, exactly. So Ricky Bobby had a really good outcome. They rescued him, and now he lives down the street from me, and he has the happiest life. He's just the happiest little guy. But there are a lot of other dogs that need help. So let's answer some of your questions, and then we'll talk about why dogs are in that situation and what we can do to help. Okay? So, who has questions?
Who has a question? Danny?
How does it feel being close to a dog with that shape?
How does it feel being close to the dog that got saved? You said he lives down the street. How does it feel to be able to...
It's hard to tell from the video, but he's like this big. He weighs less than my cat. He weighs about 7 pounds, and he looks like, his legs are paralyzed, and you think maybe he'd be a little weak. He has so much energy, and he is so strong. And if you pick him up and he doesn't want you to hold him, he wiggles and wiggles and wiggles until he gets away. He's great. And he always, he licks you, So if you're not careful, he'll stick his tongue right in your mouth.
Who else has another question? Sean, you have a
Did you write the book to help the animals in the puppy mill or just to tell the story?
Did I write the book to what? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
He wants to know, did you write the books to help animals who are in a puppy mill or just to tell his story?
That's a really great question. For both reasons. First of all, I think it's really important to tell stories so that people can learn to feel and care about animals. But I work with the local SPCA that goes out and rescues dogs, and they make this story available for free to everybody at their shelter. So my goal is to not only tell a good story, but help educate other people so they don't do this anymore. Does that make sense? Great question. Okay. More questions? You can ask anything about Ricky you'd like.
Why did you want to write the book about Ricky Bobby?
Why did you want to write the book?
Because I had met him, and I thought actually I was at his rescue, and so I saw how bad the situation was. We'll talk about puppy mills in a second. But he was in a terrible state and very, very sick. They had to pull most of his teeth. He had skin sores and everything. And I thought, if I could tell this story in a really great way, then maybe other people can help rescue dogs and we can stop this problem. Plus, I like to tell a good story.
Is Ricky Bobby a really playful dog?
Is he playful now?
Yes. Oh, he's really funny. Did you see that great big golden Labrador that was with him? That dog's name is Tucker. And Tucker weighs over 100 pounds. So it's really funny to see this little 7-pound dog going, and this great big golden lab who just sits there and goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. They are so cute. And he really does go fast in his cart. If you're walking with him, you kind of have to hurry to keep up.
Was the dog trained when she got it?
Was the dog trained when she got it? Maybe we could...
Actually, that's a really good question because do dogs know what people need or want from them? Like if you get a new puppy, does it know not to pee on the floor? Does it know not to chew? No, so they need training, right? So Ricky Bobby lived all of his life in a little cement box that you saw there, and he never interacted with people, so he had no idea what people wanted. That's a great question. Megan had to train him. So he had obedience lessons.
Adriana?
Is Tucker and Ricky Bobby brothers?
Are Tucker and Ricky Bobby brothers?
In spirit. Okay, it's a good question. Let's talk about different breeds. So Ricky Bobby's really small and has a long nose and a long tail. What kind of dog do you think he is?
Well, what's
your dog called?
Not a hot dog.
Not a hot dog. You know what that kind of dog is? It's a dachshund. It's kind of hard to spell. It's German. Okay. So Ricky Bobby is a dachshund, and Tucker is big and has lots of muscles and floppy ears. And what kind of dog is he?
A yellow lab?
Yes, he's a yellow lab. Do you know what Labradors their original job was?
What was the Labrador's original job? Back when they were hunting?
Hunting and, do you know the word retrieve? What does retrieve mean?
Retrieve means to come back.
To bring back, yes. So originally, Labradors were hunting dogs, and they're really, really, really good swimmers. So if a hunter shot a duck, the dog could jump in the water and go retrieve the duck. So they were hunters. Do you know what dachshunds were for?
What are dachshunds?
Really interesting.
What are they for?
Sniffing stuff?
Sniffing things?
They are really good sniffers, but think about the shape of their body and how close it is to the ground.
What do you think they were good for? What do you think, Arturo? Herding?
Now they can't run very fast.
What? Investigating?
Ooh, that's very close. What would they investigate if they were little and long and small?
What would they investigate if they were little, long, and small? What do you think?
Firefighter.
Say firefighter dogs? We have all.
That's a Dalmatian, and Dalmatians are very big. I'll tell you because it's kind of unusual. Has anybody ever had a garden where there were gophers or moles or underground critters that eat your vegetables?
Yeah.
So that's what dachshunds were bred to do. They would go into the hole and get the rats and the gophers and the moles just so they would stop eating the vegetables in the gardens. Isn't that fun?
Interesting.
They used to call them the rat dogs. So any more questions?
Any more questions? Ryan? What's a puppy mill?
Great. Thank you very much, because that's what I was going to ask you guys. So, has anybody heard that word before?
Have you heard that? About 5 hands have heard it.
Okay. So if we think of a puppy mill as a factory, what do you do in a factory?
What do you do in a regular old factory? What do you do, Sean?
Like a car factory.
To produce things.
Right, to make things, okay? So in a puppy mill, they breed dogs the way other factories make cars and beds and shoes, okay? So what is the problem with that? Can you tell me why that's not a good thing?
Julian, what's the problem with that?
They're creating dogs and just selling them for money?
Yes. And are dogs like cars?
No.
What's the difference between a dog or a cat and a car?
It doesn't know what guessing.
But what's really the difference, though?
One's alive.
One's alive. One's alive, one's a living thing, one's a creature.
One needs love.
One needs love and one
There you go. That's exactly correct. So a car does not have feelings. Doesn't need to be fed food. It doesn't need love. Dogs, cats, horses, mice, gerbils, guinea pigs, they all need love to live. And so the problem with puppy mills is those dogs, like Ricky Bobby, are left mostly alone. Somebody comes around every once in a while and gives them a little bit of food and water and cleans up, but they don't give them love. All they do is breed them so they can have more puppies. What do they do with the puppies?
What do they do with the puppies? Right? They put them in cages, but what's the end result? What do they do with them? Sell them for food.
They sell them. Yes, they sell them. And they often sell them online. And many people don't understand that buying a dog from a puppy mill is a bad thing. So now, do you think that all people who own puppy mills have terrible conditions?
No.
Do you think there are some people that breed dogs in a good way?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are some. There are some people who take very good care of their dogs and they love them and they have lots of people helping them. But the places where Ricky Bobby was are not good because they're not clean. They don't get enough food and they don't get Erin, do you have something to write with?
Yes, I do have something to write with.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's talk about what Ricky Bobby didn't get that dogs need to stay happy and healthy, okay? And we'll make a list because we'll need it for later, okay? So one of the things that Ricky didn't get was what? What didn't he get?
Right. Care.
I couldn't hear, I'm sorry.
Care. He didn't get care.
Care. Okay, let's talk about what care actually is. There are many kinds of care. So what's one thing, a real detail?
What kind of care? Think of the kind of care. Lots of kinds of care the dog needs. Well, what's one of them? Think of it. But what's that?
I couldn't hear, I'm sorry.
What? Grooming. They need to be groomed.
Yes! Boy, do they ever need grooming. Right, that's excellent. Okay, what else? That's a good one. Grooming.
A good environment.
Good. Okay, so what's a good environment? Let's talk about that. Give me details. Is a good environment a baby carriage wrapped in a blanket with a baby bottle?
What do you think, Rachel? Oh, we're jumping over to the veterinarian side where they need their...
So poor Ricky Bobby did not get to see a vet. And a vet is what?
What is a vet? Doctor for
Animal doctor, right. So poor Ricky Bobby, his teeth got bad and his back legs got paralyzed because he didn't see a vet. So animals need medical care. They need the vet, okay? So we've got two things we need. What else do they need?
What else do they need? You have a question, okay?
What caused it to be paralyzed?
Do we know what caused Ricky Bobby to be paralyzed?
Yes. So if you can imagine your back, in your back there are bones stacked on top of each other like this. Does everybody know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So two of those bones got really, really close together in Ricky's back, and they crunched together. So it smashed the nerve, and the nerve couldn't feel. If he had gone to the vet could have helped him and separated the bones, but nobody took him. So the nerve died, and he couldn't feel anymore. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fantastic.
What other kind of care, what other kind of things do dogs need? Yep, fine. They need love.
Love. How do we show love to a dog?
How do we show?
Do we give it a baby bottle?
Pet it.
Pet it.
Eh? What else?
Food.
Play. Sleep on it.
Play.
Play is fantastic.
Have a good place.
Somebody say food and water?
Yeah, we've said food and water.
That's really important, yeah. Okay, what else?
All right, what else, Rachel? Exercise.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And then why are you guys in school?
Why are we in school? To learn.
Okay, so dogs don't speak English. They speak doggy language. So what do they need?
Obedience school. Good job.
Exactly. Because dogs are not going to know what we want them to do unless we teach them. There's one other thing that I'm thinking about that helps dogs get along with other dogs. What do we call that?
Training.
Starts with an S.
What? Hygiene. Yeah, but that's part of grooming.
Hygiene's a good one. No, that's a good one. You know, you need to clip their toenails and brush and shampoo and...
They feel love with other dogs.
Socializing.
Yay! That is exactly the word I wanted. So dogs really, really need to be around other dogs and also young children, so they learn that they don't need to be afraid, and they need to learn how to play in a nice way so they don't hurt each other. Does that make sense? Okay, fantastic. We have a great list. Could you read it to me, Ms. Preder?
Yes, they need care like grooming, a good environment. They need medical care from a veterinarian that will give them their shots.
Yes.
They need love. They need hugs. They need attention, proper food, time to play, a good place to sleep and exercise, and they need training with obedience school and socializing.
Great. I can think of one more thing. What is this?
Sorry for the interruption.
All right, what is she showing? What is that? A collar.
Collar. Why do we put a collar on a dog?
Why do we put a collar on? Something I haven't called on yet. If the dog runs away, they will know that it belongs to someone, because what's going to be on that collar, Bethany?
Right.
A name tag. What information goes on a name tag?
Phone number.
Yes. A phone number, an address,
The dog's name.
the dog's name.
Yay. Well done. It's because they're fifth graders. They know it all.
I know.
They're really smart. Great. So fantastic. We have a wonderful list. And what I'd like to do next time we get together is, how about if we draw pictures of dogs that are waiting for adoption at your shelter, and then we'll tell their stories so we can get them adopted. What do you think?
Yeah.
That sound like a good idea? How many of you like to draw?
How many of you like to draw?
Yeah, me too. It'll be fun.
Drawing lesson from Miss Jenna, because she's also the illustrator of her stories, and she will give you a step-by-step drawing lesson on how to draw a dog. We're Well, we're not going to draw Ricky Bobby because Ricky Bobby already has a forever home. We're going to draw a dog that's in a shelter right now here in Bolingbrook.
At your local shelter who's waiting for a home. A dog we could even go visit if we wanted to. So does anybody have any other questions before we wind this down?
Yep. The animal shelters, there's a lot of animal shelters in Bolingbrook. Erna, so you had a question during the Ricky Bobby video about the blue. Can you explain the blue sack on Ricky Bobby's legs?
Oh, that's a good question. So, if you imagine Ricky Bobby pulling himself along with his paws, dragging his legs behind him, his legs are on the ground. And what would happen if he went over asphalt or cement?
What would happen, Sean?
His legs would get all scratched up.
Get all scratched up.
Yeah, he'd scratch up his legs. So they put the bag around him to protect his legs. Does that make sense? A good question, yeah? Looks a little funny.
Right, anything else we want to ask? Yep.
What kind of food does Ricky Bobby eat?
What kind of food does Ricky Bobby eat?
You know, I've seen her feed him twice, and he eats a dry food, and then once a day he gets some wet canned food mixed in with the dry, and then he gets lots of treats because everybody thinks he's so cute. They're always giving him treats.
He gets mostly dry food and then a little bit of wet food once a day and lots of treats. Sean, last question.
Do you have your own dog, or do you think you shouldn't get a dog because you say?
Do I have my own dog or what?
Do you think you should not get a dog because you help save dogs for a living?
Oh. Well, I did have a dog. She passed away because she was really, really old, and that made me kind of sad because I really miss her. So I'm waiting to find the right dog to replace her. But I volunteer at the SPCA, so I'm just trusting that when I find the right dog, or the right dog finds me, I'll know. But in the meantime, I got a very big, very fat, very nice orange cat.
And some of you, I don't remember what class it was, but one of the classes got to meet your cat last year when we were
I can go try and find him. You want to meet him?
Yeah!
He'll be grumpy, I warn you. He weighs 18 pounds. How much does Ricky Bobby weigh?
How much does Ricky Bobby weigh? 7.
He's a lot bigger than Ricky Bobby. So let me go see if I can find him.
It's not like Garfield. Alright, I want everybody to go back to silence. We're getting a little noisy. Remember, you're being recorded, so you can't be like super crazy loud.
Raise your hand if you have a dog. No. Down, hands down. Raise your hand if you have a cat at home. The new one, and a turtle last night. You have a turtle. Fish. Fish at home.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, Oscar.
His name is Oscar.
He was taking a nap. He's a little grumpy. Okay. All right. So what do you guys think about doing a little dancing? Want to do a wiggle waggle with me?
Wiggle wiggle? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody stand up.
Everybody stand up.
Oh, come on.
All right, go back to silence so we can hear the directions to the dance.
It's fun. So everything in the wiggle waggle is something that a dog does. Okay. So tell me what I'm doing.
What is she doing? Shaking. Wiggling.
If I'm a dog, what am I doing?
Oh, wagging tail.
I'm wagging my tail. Okay, so what's this?
Oh, what are we doing now? Panting.
Panting. Good. What's this?
Sniffing.
Good. What's this?
What are you doing? Chasing.
Chasing my tail. What am I doing now?
Scratching your ear.
And now?
Shaking.
Can your dog shake paws?
Yes.
Okay, what's this?
What is sit?
Sit. And then if I do this,
Lay down.
all right, so now you know all the parts. I want you to sing after me and do what I do, okay? You ready?
Are you ready?
Give yourself room. Gotta start by wiggling.
Okay.
Wag, wag, wag.
Wag, wag, wag.
I gotta hear you or I can't do it. You gotta wag, wag, wag.
Wag.
Pan,
Pan, pan, pan.
sniff, sniff.
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Bark, bark, bark.
Bark, bark, bark. Chase your tail.
Scratch your ear. Shake your neighbor's paw.
Shake your neighbor's paw.
Neighbor, 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 neighbor. So you can wag, wag, wag.
Wag, wag, wag.
Pan, pan,
Pan, pan, pan. Sniff, sniff, sniff.
bark, bark, bark.
Bark, bark, bark.
Go in the other direction.
Chase your tail.
Scratch your other ear.
Scratch, scratch, scratch.
Shake your other paw.
You got the freak with
And sit, sit. Sit, sit, sit. Down, down, down. Lie, lie, lie. On the ground. Eat.
Everybody down.
You guys need to work on your snoring. That's the only thing you guys didn't do good. You need to snore louder.
Snore better, guys.
All right, so that was fantastic. And I'll see you next time with pictures to draw. How would that be?
All right, one last question.
Yes.
Who's the white dog, Mariah? Who is Mariah based off of?
Oh, Mariah is a real dog. I have her actual picture. She belongs to one of my friends, and she looks as grumpy as she does in the illustration. If you remind me, I'll bring her picture and show it to you. She's really funny. She's a Shih Tzu. Anybody know a Shih Tzu?
She's a Shih Tzu dog.
And she's grumpy in real life, too. So I will show you her picture next time. How's that?
Okay, that sounds. You know what? I think I still have the email with Mariah's picture from last year.
Oh, good. Okay.
I found that one. I couldn't find the one with the PowerPoint in it though. So I do have Mariah's picture. I will show it to you.
Okay, great. So I'll see you guys next time. If you think of any questions, let me know. We'll cover them next time, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Great to meet you.
Bye.